friends, my name is Mindy and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here back with me. Today I'm going to be talking about alcohol and why I stopped drinking alcohol. It's just a recent decision and something that I am very glad I'm doing. And also because, what's the reason behind? It's because alcohol has a lot of correlation with emotional problems or instability, such as anxiety, depression, and all of those things. And I want to dive in and talk about all of that, share my experience, and I hope it can help other people. So let's start with the way that I used to drink alcohol up until just last week. I was a social drinker, so never been a person that is drinking a lot. I don't need it to feel good or any of that. Well, in kind of social aspects, well, I'm going to talk about that later, but it's not that I'm sitting and doing my work and thinking, oh, I'll have to drink, not at all. But I enjoyed a glass of wine or a beer with friends, mostly on the weekend. So now we here in the North Hemisphere, we're around summer, so around summer you also drink more, you see more friends, you're more outside, and just the weather helps kind of. And I noticed that during the last, since spring, so from May or before March or whatever, also Corona times, it was like, okay, you see less people, you go less out, and what you do, you see a few friends at home, and you want to drink, and you want to kind of feel like you're celebrating life and all of that. And that was me, you know. But I realized that every time I drank alcohol, no matter how much or how little, it could be one glass, could be two glasses. It's an airplane, I don't know if you hear that. So every time I drank one or two or three glasses of wine, I would have what they call a hangover. I discussed this with my therapist because I said to him, like, I am feeling so devastated the day after. And I thought at the beginning that it was something else, you know, it was like just me feeling sad, just me having these mood swings and stuff like that. But I noticed if you start kind of tracking the pattern of something, I was doing that, I noticed that it was like always after I drank alcohol that it was like coming back. This anxiety, this low self-esteem feelings of unworthiness, feelings of doubting myself a lot. So I discussed this with my therapist, and he's like, well, it sounds like a hangover. But, you know, hangover is not only physical, it's also emotional. So you feel bad, you feel guilty, you feel all of those things that you're describing sound like a hangover, he said. So I went on to read more on the internet because just like last week, I had another of these gatherings with friends and I had some drinks, and it's not that I was completely drunk, I had a few drinks. And then the next day, I was feeling again one more time these feelings of drained out, depleted, not having, like, I could not see the future and understand that everything was going to be okay, that what I'm doing has a purpose, like all of those things that make me grounded and that make me feel like, okay, life is okay. And even when you feel bad during the other days, you kind of can bring yourself down to earth and say like, okay, it's just a day, you know. But in those moments, it's so difficult to talk myself out of that. So I went on to read it on the internet, and then, what my therapist told me actually has a backup from studies that have done many people. And so I found something that, well, I have here my notes with me, so I'm going to share some bits of it. So it seems like the alcohol targets the GABA, so that's an acid in our brains. This is a receptor which sends chemical messages through the brain and nervous system to inhibit the activity of nerve cells. Put simply, it calms the brain, reducing excitement by making fewer neurons fire. Alcohol stimulates GABA, which is why you get relaxed and cheerful when you drink. So that's the first step. So that's why we love drinking, right? When we are like, yeah, I want to drink, because after the first drink, you feel like a bit fired up. You feel like, oh, your worries are gone, and you feel like more oof in the moment. So of course, that's like a bit of an addiction, kind of. Even if you're not addicted, in that moment, you feel like another drink and another drink, right? The first two drinks, says the article, I will quote it down below, but I just want to quote this briefly. The first two drinks lull you into a blissful GABA-induced state of chill. When you get to the third or fourth drink, another brain slackening effect kicks in. You start blocking glutamate, the main excitatory transmitter in the brain. More glutamate means more anxiety. So there is even a name for this. It's called Hungxiety. And if you have the same symptoms after you drink a few glasses of wine or beer, and you think like, yeah, I mean, I'm just having a bad day, you may be are reacting to this effect in the way that I do and that other people do. It seems like not everybody reacts to or has this experience after drinking as I do, but some people do. And maybe there is a correlation here between being a highly sensitive person, as I am. So if you're a person who is like highly sensitive, who is all the time kind of feeling and feeling also mood swings and mood changes, and you are highly sensitive, you know, and there are many things that we can do in order to decrease those symptoms. I've noticed myself that for me to be like in a more balanced mood in general, I had to quit on caffeine, for instance, so I do only decaf coffee. Another thing that also affects my mood big time is eating lots of sugar. So eating like a big bar of chocolate would give me the exact same effect that alcohol gives. So it's like a spike on energy, and you feel high and everything is amazing, and then the low is like you hit the bottom, you hit the rock when you fall down. So alcohol is not for everybody, and after all of these experiences I've had, and because I'm committed to taking care of my emotional health, I've decided I'm not going to drink more. And I know also, besides this, how damaging is alcohol for the cells of our body, for the regeneration of our cells, of our brain cells. It's just like damaging. It's not enhancing anything. So you have, on the other hand, that you can eat amazing food, as I do. I take care of myself, I eat good food, I eat clean, I exercise and all of that. So you're taking care of yourself, and when you drink, you are actually not taking care of yourself. We tend to feel this, we love this feel for this high that alcohol gives us of, you know, you feel great, you feel like it kind of helps you to, I forgot the word, how you say it, but you're not more worried and you just let go. You're just in the present, you're just more yourself, you think. But the funny thing, one of my experiences is like, even though you feel more like yourself, the next day, if you feel these effects of the anxiety on the next day, you might feel regretful for things that you said, how you approach things. So you might feel in that moment that you're doing amazing, but the next day when you're sober again, you will be like, what did I do? So I consider alcohol not to be healthy at all. I know that some people might say like, but you need to do it with moderation. I think great for you, do it with moderation if you think you should. But for me, I have had periods that I don't drink alcohol at all, and I know that I don't need it, and it's a matter of choice, I guess. But for me now, it's something that I'm putting aside of my life. I have found a great quality sparkling water that I like a lot. So these fizzy water, of these fizzy drinks, drinking it with friends, it's like something that sometimes, yeah, we miss. I think it's like the experience of doing something, that drinking something, because we're used to that. And if we can replace that with something that is healthier, why not? I can compare this, just giving a small example, to when I used to smoke. So I smoked back in, I don't remember when, but I smoked until, like, I quit smoking 10 years ago. And I smoked for 7 years. And I realized that I needed to stop because it was not allowing me to run. I was running uphill. I was training hard, but I could not handle it. So I was like, no, I don't want to get to that point. I don't want to be that person. I'm going to stop. And it was just like, for me, a process of understanding how much of a damage it does to my body that I didn't do it. It does not mean that I did not smoke at all during the next years. I think that's the problem. If you want to stop with alcohol or with smoking or with anything, if you feel like, if I give in one time, if I allow myself one time to try this thing, then I am back at this addiction. But it's actually not like that. Like, that's the way I approach it back then. I was like, okay, whenever I'm just gonna say like, today I'm not smoking. Today I'm not smoking. That's the same I do with alcohol now. Today I'm not drinking. If I feel like I'm having a nice dinner and I want to drink a glass of wine, I think like I don't actually need. And then I remember all of the things that are connected to how I feel the next day. Even when I drink 2 glasses, I feel that way the next day. And what the damage is that alcohol does to my body, to the regeneration of my cells, to all of my system. So I'm like, yeah, better not. But I know that it's going to be a moment, it's gonna come. Just like when I was smoking, that I feel like I want to try it. And I think I will try it, but that doesn't mean that I am going to go back to drinking 2, 3, 4, 5 and to do it often. So I think that's an advice that I can give to anyone who wants to stop having any, or to stop any addiction, to see it as, okay, I decide always today, remember the reasons why you're not doing it, but always choose for this moment. In this moment, I choose not to do. But if the temptation is so big, just give it a sip, give it a try. I used to smoke just once, and or I was like thinking, I want to experience this because I haven't smoked in 4 months. I want to feel. I remember being mindful. How does that feel? I remember feeling the smoke going inside my throat and burning, and I was like, I don't like this. It's exactly the same thing that we can apply to everything. It is exactly the same thing that I would apply whenever I feel like, I need to have a drink. I will. I know how the alcohol effect starts to kick in, and I think we have to be more careful, more powerful, and also use mindfulness in order to tackle those little addictions that are considered normal in our society, just as drinking alcohol. But as someone said in one of those articles I read, if alcohol was going to be created today, it was not going to be legal and allowed as it is nowadays, because it's highly damaging. Okay, that's all for today. If you have questions, if you have gone through a similar experience, I would like to know, so please leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, it would mean a lot to me, and to give a thumbs up. Share this video with a friend who might need to hear and listen to this and watch this. Okay, till next time. Bye!